This is gonna be good. Yo, what up, Jet Team? Welcome to the channel. If you haven't been here before, my name's Ryan. I'm a former F-18 combat fighter pilot, F-16 Thunderbird pilot, commercial pilot. Someone on Instagram asked me to break down some DCS dogfights of the mighty F-18 Hornet. Now, is the F-18 a capable fighter? Well, is a duck's butt watertight? Does the Pope wear a funny hat? Does a bear poop in the woods? Maybe. That's the answer to all those questions. But the F-18 is certainly a capable fighter. I got to fly in it a handful of times when I was doing some exercises with the Navy out at Navy Fallon, and I'll just say, what a beautiful plane. It's just a sexy jet. I mean, you just can't deny that. So I'm excited to break down these dogfights. It's gonna be against unknown bandits, so we'll see what's thrown at it. But before we do that, if you would, just dominate that like button, maybe even subscribe. Every time you do that, a hornet somewhere grows up and gets its wings or something like that. Let's dive into these dogfights, guys. Here we go.
But there's very few things that I'm gonna opt for a two-circle with a Hornet. You know,
the Hornet's a great low-speed maneuverable fighter, so I agree with what he said. You definitely want to have more of a one-circle mentality when you're using this bad boy. I mean, it flies slow really well.
Merge, and I saw that is a Mirage. One of
the
the
old
things that makes me want to go two-circle right there.
The old Mirage. I mean, he wants to go two-circle because he's essentially saying that the Mirage is going to be really good at getting its nose on him. So that's why he's saying that. It's just nice seeing a Hornet loaded out with AIM-9s. Don't believe those were AIM-9Xs. I don't know. I guess we'll see here in a second. But when you have that many AIM-9s on a jet, you know you're in for some dogfighting.
All right, based on the colors there, I see Egyptian. That is an Egyptian Mirage 2000. And so I'm trying to just keep my nose up. I want to stay above him.
Nice, so he does have the HMD.
Best that I can.
The HMD is amazing.
I don't want to dump the nose quite.
When I was using the HMD and the Strike Eagle, I mean, especially for using the AIM-9X or air-to-ground type scenarios, oh man, just gives you so much situational awareness. Sometimes you would fly a jet where the HMD was out for whatever reason, like they were doing maintenance on the system inside of it, and you wouldn't be able to use it, and you would still be flying with your Jahemex helmet, so it's a little heavier, and you would just be like, man, I feel like someone just took away my toy. Just didn't feel right. So having it is a huge advantage.
Quite yet until I start really outrating that Mirage. You see, the only way he can kind of stay with me is he's got to keep his nose dumped. You know, you see the classic, like almost 90-degree nose down Mirage attitude. And you look at him here, he's trying to... This is the thing with the Mirage. It looks like he's raiding with you. It's an illusion if you don't know what you're looking at. What he's actually doing is sitting inside of your circle. And he's having a lot of trouble doing it here because I won't dump my nose. And so he's having tremendous amounts of problems doing it. You see the nose just slip there momentarily. I'm just going to bring it back up.
And you don't want to give away too much ground, especially with a Mirage. You want to try to maintain some of that altitude because that Mirage is going to be diving for the deck, trying to get their nose on you here. And again, all dogfights are going to make their way to the deck, guys. You've heard me say this before. But if you can maintain some distance, that's potential energy that you can then cash in. Because if you get to the deck, low energy and not a lot of altitude to work with, it's going to be a bad day.
And there he goes. He's going to take some shots that are going to go short. And this is the thing. So now he looks like he's raiding with me, but in reality, he's just sitting inside the circle. And he can only sustain that for so long, right? Very quickly, he's going to get stuck in lag.
The reason why he's continuing to descend for the Mirage is he's trying to point his nose the entire time. And that's terrible dogfighting. So that's going to make you lose energy and altitude at the same time without having a good weapons solution.
And I'm going to start out raiding him, and that is where we are now. You see, once again, his nose is completely dumped.
Usually with these big delta wing jets, guys, they get one really good move and it bleeds off a ton of energy, and then that delta wing just kind of sits there and slows them down. That's why I'm not a huge fan of the delta wing variants, but you know, to each their own. If you are, I don't judge you. Let me know in the comments below why you're a fan of the delta wing. So I gotta know why.
And I'm just keeping this a nose to tail fight.
This is a winning picture. This is what you want to see when you're in a dogfight. You want to be up high, just chilling, hanging out above, looking down, and that's when the bandit's in the shoot me, kill me zone. So you just see them in the shoot me, kill me zone down there. They can't put their nose on you. They're low on energy and they're low on altitude. That's when you start to just dip your nose a little bit. You cash in a little bit of that altitude and you start chipping your way back behind that jet. Kind of like you're playing a game of chess.
Knight to H3.
Your classic two-circle fight on the deck here. And bet money he's going to reverse here. And it's going to get him killed because you cannot do that.
Yeah, you reverse at low altitude. It just shows a nice plan form of the jet that you'll be able to shoot.
Yeah.
So he's going to take a Fox 2 shot.
He might not be dead, but I definitely just, yeah, there he goes. He ejected.
And something that we always say, guys, is you continue to drive to that point in space where you can have follow-on basic fighter maneuvers. Because if you just take a shot and then you drone into space and your missile misses, now they reverse on you. So that's one critique that I would give the F-18 here is, yeah, you took a pretty high probability shot, but then it looked to me like you eased off, whereas you should have just kept flying BFM. Obviously it worked out for him here, so hey, all's well that ends well.
Yeah, dude, you cannot eject like this, or sorry, reverse like that. You just cannot reverse like that. Not with the Hornet anyway. It's got such a good radar gun sight.
But I mean, any jet that's that low on airspeed and potential energy by being that low, I mean, it's just not going to be good, whether it's a Hornet, a Viper, F-15. But yeah, the Hornet's ability for low speed flying, you guys have heard me say it before. That's why the Blue Angels look so sharp and they get so tight. They're at a lower speed than the Thunderbirds, but they're like overlapped over each other because maneuvering that thing at low speeds is just nice. It's a really user-friendly jet at low speeds.
You know, I'm not going to miss in those situations with this thing.
He said he's not going to miss in those situations. I love confidence. Gotta practice, gotta have the skills, but then also have the confidence. Well played, sir. Well played. So you could have had a gunshot here too. So what I would have done, Fox 2, let that bad boy fly, and then I'm gonna go guns. So there is a master mode where you throw a switch back, you're in guns, and then I'm gonna start. I'm gonna at least get a second of bullets out, which is about 100 rounds of 20 mic flying towards this dude, because if my missile malfunctions, you know, a last minute flare comes off of his jet, or he flies in plane with the sun behind it and the Fox 2 takes a little detour, goes towards the sun. I'm gonna be right there with my 20 mic, ready to make it happen. And then I'll have a better story. And what's one of the rules I always say? Sometimes you gotta do it for the story. Here we go, guys, jumping into the next round.
Last ditch effort to survive, and I get it. You know, when you're in a desperate situation like that, you just do things and hope for the best. As long as you're not doing it in the beginning of the fight, I think.
We call that the pray and spray. So if you're about to get shot down, you're just gonna shoot off some bullets, shoot your 9 mic. If you have missiles coming at you, very low probability of getting a hit, but if you're gonna get shot, you might as well throw something out there and see what happens.
It's excusable. Into the merge here, that's an F-14.
Ah, the Tomcat.
And looks like we're going one circle against the Tomcat, that's for sure.
And here's what I would be looking for when I'm fighting against the Tomcat. It's kind of like what I'd be looking for in certain ways off of other jets, where you see some of the airflow, or you see like the vapes coming off their wings. That helps you to know how hard they're pulling, because the harder you pull, the more vapes are going to come off of the wings. But with the F-14, it's going to give you a clue. Like right now, here we are. We're paused at the 448 mark, and I can see the gap in between the horizontal stabs and the wings. So that's showing me that it's in low speed mode. It's more of a dogfighting mode where this thing's gonna try to get into a slower speed. Now, if we went through a merge and I saw those wings swept back, I would think they're gonna blow through the merge. Like, who do these dudes think they are? They think they can just blow through the merge on me? I told you never to try to blow through the merge on me, bro. But as soon as I see that, I know they're going to be hitting the deck. They're going to be getting low. So what I would be thinking is like, uh-oh, they're about to push it up. They're going to go extremely fast. So what I'm going to do is turn and burn as fast as I can, get my nose around, max afterburner, unload, maybe try to get a fleeting semi-active radar missile shot. But if they're coming through that merge like that, there's no chance of you getting an AIM-9 off. It's just going to be out of range. And then obviously guns are out of the question, except for Maverick. He could pull it off.
And that's an Iranian F-14.
Could be Maverick flying the F-14 though, bro. Might want to try to get him on the guard frequency. That's the frequency that you'll come up on if you've got an issue. So might want to try it. Maverick, you there, bro? No? Okay, cool. You're gonna get shot down then.
So the Tomcat being one of those things, I think I'm far superior to him in the one circle fight.
Definitely. You're going to have way smaller of a radius of your turn. So right now you can obviously see winning queues as well. So I'd be thinking probably Fox 2 and then right into guns. And then maybe here drive to the left side of the screen towards his turn circle and then execute another turn with him.
So I'm going to try to keep him in that regime. Look at that. I love getting slow in the Hornet and just using the rudders to roll the nose around and point it at people.
So it's interesting. He's talking about getting slow in the Hornet, and when I would dogfight the Hornet, especially in the F-15E, it would be similar to this because the F-15E is going to perform slightly like the F-14, I would say. But the F-14 is going to be at a disadvantage because that Hornet's basically just going to stop in space and continue to gain altitude. And you can see right here, the F-14's diving for the deck. That's why most likely if I was in an F-14 going against an F-18, I'd sweep those wings back, get low, get as fast as I possibly could and try to outrun them. It's probably going to be your best shot. Now there's some good rate happening right now. The rate around the circle looks pretty good. I like what the F-18 is doing, kind of leveling out a little bit, gaining a little bit of altitude. And that's really where I would make my money sometimes in the F-15E if I was fighting against an inexperienced Hornet pilot, is I would essentially level out, get a little bit of altitude, and then crank it back down to keep the nose from coming on. But the F-18 would essentially get 2 moves up, which is what gives the F-18 a huge advantage over the F-15E or the F-14. So right there you can see great altitude being gained by the F-18. I love that. I love getting that altitude up there because that's going to start to give you an overlapping circle. When you get into an overlapping circle scenario, you're going to see a shot start to come. So it's pretty neat. That's what's happening here. Yep, playing that game of chess, working it up and down.
Here comes that nose, he's shooting. I'm tightening down. Lucky to have survived there.
So when you get into offsetting circles, you're going to have a couple different passes. So if the circles are offsetting like that, there's going to be a couple different passes where each of you will have a high aspect gunshot. And again, I love the F-14 taking the shot, man. You got to give it a try. Why not?
I can now neutralize into the one circle. And hopefully we can kill him here.
High off bore side shot, you know, would be nice. I'd be flaring right now if I was in the F-14.
Tomcat is so good, man. It's so good. If you can truly master the Tomcat, it's an absolute animal.
It's a beast. Tomcat's a beast. I'm not going to argue with you there.
One of my favorites, but
the flying characteristics of everything I've read about it and seen remind me of the F-15E.
There he goes off into the 2 circle. Once again, he's obviously going to ditch out of the 1 circle with the Hornet, which is a very good idea. You can see him just ripping across that circle now.
He's just plugging it into max blower and he's just raging, man.
Trying to tighten down here.
Raging above the deck. That's what you got to do.
See, those are what we call losing cues.
So it's the offsetting circle. So the F-14 is getting his nose on, getting these gunshots.
That's my.
That was a. Oh man. Yep, he needs to get out of plane. So right here, we're looking at a position where this F-14 is putting its nose on you. This is serious, man. No one cares if you continue to rate around the circle right now. Like, no one cares, dude. You gotta react. You gotta make a move. So what needs to happen right now with the F-18 needs to put the F-14 on his wing line. So literally roll out. So stop your turn, roll out, boom, do a jink up, and then think of a potential secondary follow-on jink down. But you have to get out of plane because right now you're just the perfect sitting duck for this F-14. So if this was my student and I could show them this angle, I'd be like, look, this is a beautiful winning picture from the F-14 and you're just like a pig in space, bro. That's what we would call it. You're essentially a pig in space. Does that make you feel good? Well, it shouldn't. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but you need to get out of plane. And when I was briefing students on how to do this, it was just think of if you were in that jet, where your gun sight is right now. Your gun sight's in lead of you right now because you have offsetting circles. So if you can position yourself inside the other aircraft's jet when you're defensive, I'm telling you, this was the difference between a decent fighter pilot and an exceptional fighter pilot. Someone who could see what was going on in the other aircraft's gun sight and say, yep, they're about to gun me right now. And what you would typically see is a little bit of the belly. So if you're looking at this right now, you would see a little bit of the belly of that F-14. You need to get out of plane, bro. We need you. We don't need you to die right here. And then again, ejecting inverted, that's your only shot right now. I get it, you gotta do it, you gotta give it a try, but you need about 150 feet underneath your jet in order to make it out of that. Because that gyro on the seat's gonna shoot you back up. Hey man, anything can happen, right? Again, that F-14 is, sometimes it's a force to be reckoned with. You gotta do the victory aileron roll at the end. I mean, that's a key point I would tell every student. Shoot down the guy or gal, do a victory aileron roll. I'm just kidding. But seriously, do that.
That my gunnery was horrible. And, you know, just went into the raid fight and won. And I think it was really good. I think he did a nice job getting that nose around. It's difficult to get that Tomcat Pipper on target sometimes, especially against a non-cooperative Hornet who's tightening down and doing all kinds of stuff. So very nice kill, very clean kill to the F-14 last time. I will not make that mistake again with my gunnery. It's starting to come back to me a little bit.
And don't be afraid to be aggressive, man. Sometimes you gotta be aggressive. Like sometimes you gotta, you know, put the kids to bed and, you know, or tell them earmuffs and make some things happen. You gotta make some stuff happen.
I can feel it. I haven't really been doing a lot of Hornet dogfights, so, but it does come back.
No excuses, play like a champion. I'm just giving you crap, man.
Real quick with the Hornet. Into the merge here. Flanker. Looks Russian. I think I saw a Russian paint scheme on that thing.
Okay, so guys, key here while we're continuing to watch this is Russians don't practice defensive BFM. Their strategy is do not become defensive. So as we're continuing to watch this thing here, he's focused on all aggression, teeth are out. So what I'd be thinking is reversal. So boom, this jet's this close to me right now. Reverse, yep, use some rudder, right rudder down, perfect, nice move. And that's the classic Russian fighter mistake. You know, their fighter pilots, they get arrogant, they get cocky. I don't know if they're doing like shots of vodka or something before, but this is a great shot right here. And you did the perfect thing, which is let him be aggressive, get out of plane for the gunshot, and then reverse on him. You know, no amount of shots of vodka are going to get that Russian pilot out of that scenario. That was awesome. Nice, perfect. You got great shot for a Fox 2 right here. Yep, and then again, get the gun out in front for a follow-on gunshot, but real nice. I just love that move of you gotta be in the mind of the other pilot. You gotta be thinking what they're thinking. And most likely they're gonna be thinking, as a Russian pilot, they're not gonna become defensive. I am going, you know, all in on a gunshot. So, I'm a big fan of Sun Tzu. If you guys haven't read Sun Tzu, he's all about getting in the mind of your enemy and thinking about what they're going to be doing.
MiG29.
All right, here we are, and the
Russian
next
MiG29 into the merge.
The next fight with the
One of the few
MiG29.
aircraft you can tell what it is just from the amount of coal coming out of the back of that thing.
And that's actually a thing, seeing the exhaust coming out. So yeah, MiG29 puts out a ton of exhaust. The F4 puts out a ton of exhaust. The B-52 puts out a ton of exhaust. But these are little things that you would focus in and hone in on for visual identification purposes, especially if you're in a certain theater where you knew you were going to be facing 2 or 3 distinct different types of aircraft. You would be like, all right, I'm going to be looking for these big plumes coming out of this MiG29. So I like that he highlighted that. It's cool.
Now the MiG29, I'm also going to try to keep it one circle. Gonna reverse here, pull the burner out.
All right, you gotta be real careful right there of the hard deck, because that move right there, I could see a couple different times he was losing track of it, but then he was coming back in and gaining it again. So going out of burner this low, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to avoid the Fox 2 shot from that MiG-29, but man, you gotta get energy back. So ballsy move, Mav.
Pull the aircraft down to min radius here. And
Dang, that's low.
Circle going.
That's low, but this Hornet is such a beast, such a workhorse, that it just powers
Now
out
just
of
remember
that.
that at slow speeds, the MiG-29 does display nose authority, very similar to the Hornet. So still got to be pretty careful here.
Okay, now you gotta maintain that distance. Don't overshoot.
Oh, come on. Right here. Yes.
Patience.
Yes. That's it. This is it, right here. There we go. Splash 1 MiG-29.
All right, very nice.
Should have stayed.
You got to be careful you don't fly through the debris as well. So if you shoot down a jet in front of you like that, and the debris is going to start falling, and now you fly through it, dude, you're done. Your jet is going to ingest all of that shrapnel that's on fire. So burning hot shrapnel is going to go through your engine. So I think that he probably would have ingested that there. That's why I would always teach, all right, you shoot and then you drive to the elbow. So you shoot and then you basically build a little bit of space to see what the bandit's gonna do next. And what they might do is explode, and then you don't wanna fly through it. Not gonna be a good day.
Stayed on the 2 circle. Just cannot end up slow in a 1 circle with a Hornet.
And being this tight in, this is when you really gotta be careful. So you gotta take that shot, burp, some gunshot, and then check away. Because look at, you can even see in the game, all the shrapnel flying off that jet, and then boom, flies right through the fireball. Dude, you're gonna be ejecting after that. You know, sorry to tell you. So you gotta be very careful. It's not, the dogfight is not over till you're clear of the fireball. And then, oh, by the way, once a fireball happens in the sky, you've just highlighted yourself to everyone within 100 miles, everyone who can see that. So you gotta get away from it as fast as possible. So there might not be time for a victory aileron roll. Who am I kidding? There's always time for a victory aileron roll. So there you go, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that F-18 fights everything video. Special thanks to Growling Sidewinder for letting me break these down. Really appreciate it, man. If you guys haven't, pop over there. Give him a quick follow. And before you leave this channel, if you would, just dominate that like button, maybe even subscribe. Every time you like and subscribe, a little baby Super Hornet somewhere gets its wings, or something like that. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll catch you on the next video. Most of all, thanks for helping me grow this channel. It really means a lot. I'll catch you on the next video. Have a great day.